Hi guys, it's Becca, and today I am going to share with you my 2013 favorites and fads for scrapbooking. I did this 2 years ago, and it was really fun, and I got a lot of really fun feedback from it, and other people's videos of their favorites are one of my favorite things to do on YouTube when I have some downtime to watch. So I'm going to do it. I don't think I did this at all throughout this year. My favorites, but I don't know. So wrapping out the year, I'm going to share with you some of my fads, whether they're things I'm using right now or not, and just kind of explain why or that sort of thing. So we are now in day number 2 of 2014, and here I go. So at the end of my last year, I was using 4x4 or 6x6 scrapbook page protectors, and I was like, this is so ingenious. It was just coming out, and I thought, this is so cool. I can put so many pictures in a short space, and whether it's 3 different occasions of my kids playing at the park, I felt like that made more sense. I don't do Project Life, but I am using the Project Life page protectors. And I'll tell you one thing I have really noticed, and it's probably a negative thing, is since I'm not documenting everyday life, using those has really congested my scrapbooking, because I am one whole weekend of camping can be printed or can be scrapbooked on a double page layout now. I'm cutting my pictures down to smaller sizes so they'll fit inside of it, and it's fun to look at, but I kind of miss the bigger bulk of the scrapbooking style. I'd rather do more pages, because it really does take just as long. In fact, sometimes I think it takes longer because I'm trying to figure out where I should place things. So here's an example, okay? This is my daughter's 5th birthday. This is one side of the double-sided layout, and I got 2, 4, 6, 7 pictures on one page. And I just had to cut them down. You can turn them so they fit better. You got a little bit of journaling in here, just, because it's this one side. So I do like this style. There's 2 different ways that I use Project Life. I buy paper and cut it up. This is 99 cents, so you're getting kind of a more specific style. And these often come with the collections, so you can buy this piece of paper and then the whole collection, and it really matches really nice, and there's not a lot of thinking involved. It is double-sided, so you don't really have to, you get twice as much volume when you do the Project Life, because you're already scrapbooking on the back of a lot of the paper. The other way to do it is to buy just packs of Project Life, and lots of different brands have these now. And it's basically a theme. It's all camping. I got it to match the Happy Camper collection from Echo Park. Even though this is Project Life, it's still is the same color palette. I store all of them when I cut them up in one of these. So you can see I just have oodles of it. One of these is actually just a whole Project Life kit I bought. Otherwise, I would cut up my paper when I get it if I have leftovers, and I just slip it in here like that. So that's my Project Life card. I always seem to be able to find something that matches what I'm working on, so that's great to keep in there. So that is my Project Life style. The one thing I really like about it, you guys, and I know you guys, I've said this before, but here's my stack. These are all my books, my scrapbook pages right now down here that I need to put in albums still. And I hate buying page protectors, but when I do the Project Life ones, I already have the page protectors, because you kind of have to scrapbook that way. So it is kind of nice because these are already in they're already in protectors, which I kind of like doing that. Okay, so those are done. The next thing I'm going to share with you guys, so I'm still using Project Life, not really for the intent really initially where it was started, but I think we're all kind of adapting it into our regular scrapbooking styles. Okay, the next thing is paint splattering. I started off doing this a lot in 2013 because it was kind of something I learned at the end of the previous year. So I've just got some on there to share with you guys. Usually you would do it on like just the background before you start a page, so you're not getting paint all over everything. So these are kind of some of my favorites that I was using. I'd always bring like a bag of this to my crops. I've got a little bit of glimmer, like some mists in here, and then just some regular paints, some daubers, just like a variety. As long as it's acid free, you're good to go. So that was that. I'm not doing that so much in my pages now because I'm kind of an impatient scrapbooker and I don't like waiting for it to dry, and I've been kind of going back to more patterned paper than the cardstock, like the solid colored cardstock. Because like on this one you can see I started with just a regular white piece of paper, so if this was like a lot of stuff on the background of this piece of paper, you don't really need to do more. I had to put up a blanket because it's actually sunny today. That's crazy. I'm not used to the sun, so now it's like, shut the curtains, our eyes. True story. So that was kind of a fad I went through. And then I have this out, and basically I just have it out to share with you guys some of the things that I've been like really loving with my Cameo. Is like a lot of the arrows with the words on them kind of adds one extra step if you're going to cut out an arrow anyways. So that's a big thing. A lot of these kind of things, instead of using stickers, like letter stickers, I'm using like cutout papers from my Cameo. And then of course borders, which I went through a big fad of that this year, but kind of slowed down. My tags were a big thing with my last video I showed you guys, but I'm not making so many of those because I have some of these so many of the Project Life like pieces of paper. I tend to just be like sticking behind things instead of using tags. So that. Another thing I've been doing a lot of, and you guys probably noticed in some of my layout shares that I did this year, is I'm really big into using like ephemera, just clustering into like the corners of pages. For some reason, I've been fascinated with people being able to do this. A lot of Webster's like followers or Prima followers do a lot of this kind of stuff on their pages, but more like floral and lace and just layers and layers and layers. And I'm always like, God, that's beautiful. But I know for myself, because I do so many pages, it's never gonna work for me because my books would be so fat. So I'm kind of just using paper instead. So I've done a lot of the layering of the ephemera. And then when I open this package, instead of keeping it all together, like this is just from one of the American Craft like Amy Tangerine lines from this year. It's like I would open a pack, and I just got this, so I'm just opening it and sharing with you right now. But I would just like open it and like stick it in this container, and it's just full of like random goodies, leftovers from the last couple lines. And I have one more that I have of this, so it's just kind of like I just kind of put them in here. So when I go to crops or I'm scrapbooking, I don't mind digging for it, because it's not so much like I'm going to use it because it's with the same line of paper. It's more like I'm making a puppy page. Do I have anything with a puppy in it? And I like to have it all in like one spot. So I open my packs of those when I get them, and I just shove them right in here. It really helps with my condensing down too. So when I separate my papers by collection or by brand, I have all of my ephemera in the same spot. So this, which I might as well share with you right now. This is like going to be one of my top things because I've been using this for like 3 years. I bought these. I have several of them. I think I have like nine of them. They have cute little lids that go on them, and but they can all snap together too. So I can pile them up really high and store them, and everything is like in one big pile, but organized. I got these when I was starting to, like when I was in the Cricut phase, and I was like organizing my cartridges in them. And then for a while I was storing my tools in them. And then now I'm just kind of storing all of my ephemera and extra stickers and buttons and brads and all of that stuff in them. So these would definitely be on one of my top lists for 2013. One of my favorite storage tips. My next favorite storage tip is going to be these. I have several of these, and they're all piled up. Right now they basically separate out like stickers, like in holidays. Okay. The third favorite scrapbook organizational thing I have for you guys are these. I got like a pack for like $8. There was like 12 or 10 or something in a package at Michael's, and they have a little button, so that it's kind of like when you get a collection and you keep it in the paper or in like the seal and you just like take out and keep putting it back. I was doing that for like a good 10 months this year. 2 months ago, I decided after seeing my friend had these, I was like, heck yeah, I need a more solid, like, it's not gonna like rip on the side or you don't have to like reseal it. It's just a button clasp. So like what I did is I took like, this is just the random boy stuff I have to scrapbook. This is actually just the one of the Echo Park lines, I think. Scoot line, and everything is in here. So since I have about 20 of these, and I have quite a few that are empty still. I thought I had like so many more collections, but I have like little girls random. I have like my Amy Tangerine stuff that's left over. I just keep them in these now, and I slip them right into my rolling tote. And that's it. That's like the way I store them down here in my room. So almost all of my paper that's like patterned paper, except for holiday stuff, which are in the big ones, are in these, and I love it. I just know I can pull it all out, and it's all just here. So those are all lined up in that. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to share with you is my stickers. Boy, I buy tons of different kinds of stickers. I try to buy a collection at a time now. That's probably one of my biggest tips, especially with downsizing. I used to have like rows of paper racks, and I just like, oh my god, so much paper. I didn't even know what I had. Now I'm buying pretty much by collection, or if I have a favorite piece of paper, it goes right in one of those envelopes, so I know exactly where it is. It's separated out, so if I'm working on a page for my daughters, I can just pull that out and like see what I have. Stickers are something else, because once they get in a collection, if you've kind of used up the paper, what do you do with them? So I have 2 of these just full of like random stickers that are left over from collections. I used to buy, and I still do buy these, but it's not my favorite. Rats. I had this like separated so I could show you guys. Okay, here. I used to buy like all of these religiously, and you can see, I mean, I have used, this is I think the second one of these ones I even got. I love these little books from American Crafts. They're the Remarks ones, and it comes in like a book. So I do have a ton of those still, but my favorite way to buy stickers now are on these 12 by 12 sheets. And the reason why is because when I have leftovers, instead of having like the book of the stickers, I try to find these when I like them, and even if I don't buy the collection, I'll buy these separate, because like I've had this for a couple weeks, and this is actually again the second one of these I've bought, and like when you use them so much, but I have leftovers, you know, after I'm done with kind of using this. So what I can do is actually put those in those 12 by 12 the plastic containers I just showed you. Like I can put these in these containers, and they lay really flat, so I can just like whoop, like the amount of space that these 12 by 12 sticker sheets would take up if they were in a book from different lines would be like so much more, and trying to get those like all in one spot would be a lot harder. So I am buying the 12 by 12 sheets more, and I find myself like just using a lot of these. And then what'll happen is like I cut this down, so now like if I'm bored or if I can cut out like more of it, so I don't have so much like stuff in there. And another way that I love buying paper or stickers now too are these ones. Pebble has, like, I don't really necessarily like their paper quality. I don't like the way it feels as much as I like their stickers. I love their stickers. So I buy a lot of Echo Park paper and paper lines, and then I use Pebble stickers because they're such good quality, and I like that they're a little bit thicker, and they just are great. So, and they fold up too, or you could lay flat like this. So I really buy a lot of these. I hardly buy anything October Afternoon this year, and it used to be a big grab too. Like I used to get a lot of that, and I used to get a lot of Studio Calico too, but I just have not liked their color schemes. Like they're just weird. So Glitz is starting to become one of my favorite lines. Echo Park will always be a great one for me to go to. And then the Pebble stickers, I love. I kind of stock those. I used to really like Jilly Bean, but they're just so bright. And I have kids, and I still think they're really super bright. Okay, and then a fad that I'm still into and I've had for a couple years are these ones from October Afternoon, but they're the mini market stickers, and I just keep buying these and buying these because I use them so much, you guys. Like this isn't even like half of them, and they're like all half used because they're stickers that you just like certain letters that you always go to. like I'm all out of R's, I'm all out of O's, I'm all out of like S's, like, and all the first things to go are these the numbers, you know, the 2s for 2000. And so I wish that they would come out with more sheets that just had numbers. I would pay more money to just have a sheet with just numbers on them. Like, seriously. Or if they could figure out that we're buying these for these down here in the corners of our pages and just make like a whole sheet that just said 2013, 2014, and like a lot of them. So like those of us, I'd pay like $5 for a sheet like this if it just had numbers on it. But these usually retail for like $1.99 or $2.99, depends on where you buy them. So those are definitely like, I'm gonna just keep buying them. They stay on my pages. Like, I've been using these for a couple of years, like since they very first came out, and like they're not falling off my pages. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna share with you guys, and I kind of started this I think again in last year, but are the D-ring binders. Not only do I only buy D-ring binders now, but I also have switched over almost all of my books to D-ring, because in the future I know they're going to be easier for people to use or flip through or take pages out or change things or whatever I want to do in the future. So I have only been buying D-ring binders. Awesome. Like, must have, you guys. Like, if you're still using post-bound binders, get off of it. Don't do it. Just don't do it. It's so hard. You have to like open them and then they fall out and then you want to change pages around, or forbid like anybody ever spill on a page and then you're going to have to deal with that jazz like 10 years later. No. Tools. Still my go-to. I've had this thing for like 3 years, and I'm still using the same one. I'm still using the same tape. I have not found anything better than the Tape Depot tape. My girlfriend and I actually bought like 180 pack of it or something. We each ended up with like 90 rolls of this stuff about a year ago, and I used like 4 or 5 of these on a scrapbook weekend. It's just like, it never ends. So, I think my phone is somewhere in this mess. I can hear it buzzing at me. We'll deal with it. Okay. Glue. Still using the same exact glue. I buy several of these every year. I love it. It dries awesome. It's got this fine, small little hole for when I have my cameo cutouts. That it works great. It dries super clear. It doesn't dry like crusty on the sides of of my cutouts. So like if I don't do a perfect job or it smudges, it just dries. It just dries. It's awesome. I love that stuff. And my paper trimmer, I actually bought a new one of these a couple of months ago, like 2 months ago, I think, because my other one started to cut a little bit crooked, and I'd had it for like 2 years, so I bought the exact same trimmer. The one thing I don't like about it really is that it's got these huge feet on it, so when I do try to go on crops and stuff, because it is so wide, like, I have a tough time getting it in anything I pack for scrapbooking crops, but I love it. I love that it opens really easily, and you can get like the full 12 by 12 size. You can see where you're cutting really easily, and it's great. Love that. It's my definite must-have. And okay, how about this? My next one is that I've completely switched over to organizing my scrapbook pictures in a certain pattern, where like I print them, I put them in baggies. When I'm done with them, I put them in my chopper hopper, and they're good. And then I'm done. And if I ever need a picture for a school project or something, the kids go over to the chopper hopper and they get to pick through all of like the old pictures I don't want to scrapbook. So it works out really good. But because I am scrapbooking everyone's books separately, like each kid has their own book, this is a whole new concept to me. When I separate them or when I'm printing them, what I do is this is like my son's birthday. And this is like, in here is a little piece of paper, and it tells me if this is for his book or the family book. So when I print them and separate them out, I already have thought it out. So like this one here would be for the family book, and I'll do like a double page, and then he might get like a little mini like story in his with more pictures, you know. So, and then I staple these together. So some of these, like our camping ones or our boating ones, I may have 4 of these stapled together, like one for the family, one for Paige, one for Caitlin, and one for Colton. Like, so when I get there, it's already ready, and I have probably like I have a whole basket of these things. So right now, when I scrapbook this weekend, I already have like 100 different occasions to scrapbook, and I'm like set. So that has been like a big working thing this year. Let me look around really quick because I think I just want to make sure I told you everything. Okay, and then this too. This is how many washi tapes I have. I ran out of a couple of colors, and they're always the solid colors I run out of. Red, black, white, brown, cream. Like, it seems like the rolls I go through are just solid colors. Even my favorites, like this one was my favorite this year. I felt like I used this on everything, and look how much I have left. So I would say, like, if you're gonna buy washi tape, if you have not gotten into it yet, stick with really neutral colors, the colors that you use when you scrapbook. There's some in here that I bought because they were on sale, like pastel pink with white polka dots, or other things that, like, I just, like, it's not my scrapbooking style. Like, I guess I've been kind of careful, but I bought some dollar store stuff that just wasn't even my style because it was really cheap. I mean, just like with almost any kind of scrapbooking stuff, I don't really use these polka dot ones. Again, like, it's just not patterns I use. This one, like, that's my biggest tip. But solid colors, almost even if they're in like a pastel-y like pattern, they're still like go-tos for me for sure. So that's pretty much my favorites for 2014. In my mind, because I am, you know, studying web graphics and design, I really want to go with a more digital scrapbooking style, but I am not even close, guys. Like, I basically have learned like how to Photoshop pictures, and I still don't print those ones. Like, I'm a far way away from doing it. I really do like my paper crafting, so I'm gonna just go ahead and say that, like, probably won't see me even digital scrapbooking this year. I've got quite a bit of, like, I've got some ways to go with that. And just the only thing I do on my computer is probably, okay, well, another favorite is probably Pinterest. I have like scrapbooking inspiration and scrapbooking concepts, scrapbooking layout ideas, just to get my mind going. I very seldom, like maybe 5 times ever, completely feel like I scrapbooked an exact page, like, because it was just like, oh my god, this is perfect, or something like that. Usually I just like say, oh wow, I didn't think to like make the top of a tag a heart shape or something, like, oh, that's interesting. But I don't feel like this year anything like really huge came out. People followed the sequence line, like the sequences, the wood veneers. What else was big this year? A lot of die cuts that match stamp sets. Stamping was big this year. Colored, you know, coloring and stamping. A lot of card making. And I don't do any of that. I sold almost all of my stamps except for stamps that date pages or maybe like a little background here or there. So I just really kept it simple this year. A lot of paper, a lot of, you know, my cameo cuts. Almost everything was cameo cuts. Clustering of, like with ephemera. I'm excited this year to kind of see where things go because I didn't follow a whole lot of trendy things this year. Just kind of continued what I was working on last year. But I'm probably going to tone it down a little bit with Project Life, like, and do more of my 12 by 12 layouts. But I'm really interested in like mixed mediums and things like that. So I hope to get more into like the painting on my pages, even though that really kind of took off last year with the Amy Tangerine and the watercolors and things. But I never really tried that, so I might do that. I did stitching on my pages a little bit this year, and I didn't really like doing that. It was so time consuming. It looks kind of cool, but I don't really like to do like tedious, like I don't like tedious stuff. So I love my Cameo. It really has streamlined my scrapbooking processes, and I still get to be creative because I can still like edit or change the images a little bit. They have awesome like SV files out there. If you don't like what's in the store, you can buy them and put them through your Cameo. And I've never used my print and cut feature because I usually just cut like layered image, like layered with different colored cardstock, and just do it that way instead of printing it with a different color on my images. I feel like if I'm gonna go through all of that work, I might as well just like buy the stickers that match my paper. But it can look really cool to print them with color and then cut them. So that's pretty much it, guys. Here's to an awesome 2013. Closing the book on that. I am hoping to finish this weekend with my crop, like all the way up until Halloween. So then my next weekend that I would do is Halloween, Christmas, and New Year's. So I still have to just do basically summer. I finished all my school stuff and like a lot of random things. So really just a lot of summer this weekend, with getting a new boat and a new camper and just going. With my husband having a lot of time off this summer, I think that we should be able to come up with some cool pages. So maybe I'll share some of those with you. My goals this year for scrapbooking is really to just kind of delve back into doing videos of just sharing my layouts with you. I'm not a layout process person. I could do a couple of those here and there scattered through, but Becca's on a budget, so you aren't going to see a whole lot of like awesome hauls, maybe just like things I'm using, and that's almost more helpful because I just don't have space or energy to haul things out and hoard them, because I mean I love doing it, but I just don't have the space or the money right now. So, but I'm not gonna let that stop me from scrapbooking my hobbies. So anyways, guys, I appreciate all of your support and friendships throughout this year, and I am just looking forward to an awesome 2014. See ya. And if you guys do this video or type of video for this year, post me the link below so I don't miss them, because I love watching these ones. Bye, guys.